Okay, so for the final project, I decided to do abortion rights, the pro-choice versus pro-life movement. So in 1973, a law was passed through the Supreme Court called Roe versus Wade, giving women the right to choose to have an abortion. There has been a debate over this law for as long as it's been in effect. Many people have established a pro-choice or pro-life position on the topic. And this law was only created in the United States. Other countries have different rights when it comes to a woman's choice. So America, as Donald Trump may say, is split 50-50 on abortion rights, but that's not necessarily true. After the 2016 election, when Trump became president, the amount of Americans that thought abortion should be legal decreased from 2016 to 2018. 7 in 10 Americans support Roe versus Wade and the right to a legal abortion. And the states, I think, do decide the right. But if this decision were to ever be overturned by the Supreme Court, abortion rights would not completely dissipate. States would decide the outcome. And the polling results, based on what Americans think, are sensitive based on the wording of questions asked. So in Africa, this is actually very sad, but many countries have limited resources to medical tools, and several women have unsafe abortions, and they often face death. It's still illegal in many of Africa's nations, leaving women no choice but to have an unsafe procedure, which could ultimately kill them. Even if women in Africa have access to a legal abortion, many of these procedures still involve unsafe medical tools due to the lack of resources and health care. So the mortality rate of maternal mothers in Africa is really high, and unsafe abortions makes that rate higher. So in other countries, abortion laws are quite different. 96% of nations do allow abortions, but a lot of them is to only save a woman's life. The 6 countries that outlaw abortion altogether are Chile, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Vatican City, and Malta. It doesn't matter the case or scenario, these countries do not allow abortion at all. In Brazil, abortion is illegal except in cases of rape or if it threatens a woman's life. In Ireland, Iran, and Argentina, it's only allowed when to save a woman's life. And in Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and Indonesia, it's allowed when to save a woman's life or if there's health concerns and in cases of rape. So the pro-life versus pro-choice movement, this has been a very largely debated topic, especially with the president we have now. He has tried to overturn Roe versus Wade. It's just been very debated. So pro-choice is the belief that everyone has a human right to choose to have children or not, and the belief that it is okay to have an abortion. Pro-life is the belief that abortion is pretty much horrible, and they're concerned with the life of an embryo or fetus instead of the living mother. And in the article I looked up, most pro-lifers support the death penalty, which I did not know, and that's very interesting. Pro-reproductive rights, people who support these rights support laws that allow people to have a full reproductive health care system. They also oppose laws that ban abortion or keep safe rights out of reach. And people who support this also support the right to use birth control, learn about sex education, and have sex health care. People who support anti-abortion don't believe that pregnant women should have an abortion, even if it's a result of rape or if it's hurting the woman. People who oppose abortion often don't understand the beginning of how pregnancy works, and they misconstrued the whole idea, and they aren't educated about it. They also think birth control is not an option, and these people also want to overturn Roe versus Wade. So the intercultural communication in abortion rights, geography plays a huge role in this. Wherever you were born and raised impacts what a person thinks about abortion rights. Also, the people you grow up with and around, such as family, friends, neighborhood, kids, that also impacts the idea a person has about this. Religion and ethnicity may impact it as well. And these rights are different all around the world, as I have said earlier. It kind of just depends where you live. And these are my references.